Today I am here with my nutritionist Laura, who is going to be helping me choose what I should eat for breakfast and lunch and so on and so on. But that'll be in different videos. But for now we're just going to talk about breakfast.
Okay, cool. I firmly believe that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I know that a lot of young people in particular do tend to skip it, or they have things like cans of Monster or big bags of sweets, etc. And those are the kind of things that really are not going to set you up for the day. Particularly if you are in training or something like that, like Kingsley, I know you are, you're trying to get back into playing rugby, and as a rugby player it would be so vitally important to make sure that you have a balanced breakfast every day. So talk me through what your normal breakfast is at the moment.
It's just cereal.
Just cereal?
Cocoa Pops.
I'm a fan of Cocoa Pops.
If you know, you know.
Does it still turn the milk chocolatey?
Yes,
Are they still as good as what they used to be?
Yes, it does.
Okay. I have to admit, I haven't eaten a bowl of Cocoa Pops in years, but now that you've said that, I probably will go and get some this weekend.
It's worth it. It's worth waiting 20 minutes for it to soak in.
20 minutes? 20 minutes? No, well, not at all.
Yeah.
No, you've got to eat it whilst it's... So my go-to cereal would be Weetabix or something like that. That's actually my pre-game breakfast. So about 3 or 4 hours before kick-off, I would have a bowl of Weetabix, 2 Weetabix, a banana, some honey, and then protein milk. So that's one of the really easy ways that you can get your breakfast to be a little bit more balanced, shall we say. So at the moment, if you were having, I don't know, a bowl of cornflakes with 200ml of milk or something like that, the amount of protein that is in that, if you go by, I would say you're probably not having 30 grams, are you, per serving? You're probably having a little bit more than that, Kingsley. That would not fill you up for very long at all. So let's say, so a bowl of cornflakes with a 200ml of milk, for example, is going to be somewhere around 10 grams of protein, maybe. In an ideal world, that's so. And normally what happens is you eat something like that, so a bowl of cereal with milk with not a lot of protein in it, and you're probably looking for snacks by come 10:30, 11:30, which isn't a bad thing. But if you're at school or at college and you're trying to learn, it's not going to help you, it's not going to keep you focused, it's not going to get you through till lunchtime. To make that more nutrient dense and more nutritious, we want to add in some more protein. So you can do that, like I said, by adding in a scoop of whey protein into your milk, mixing that up and pouring it over. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on that?
That sounds delicious.
Yeah. Vanilla whey protein mixed into milk. Oh, do you know what? Banana on Weetabix, perfect. Banana on, banana on Cocoa Pops. Imagine, just imagine. So, I'm secretly, and I don't want to say, I wouldn't want to say I'm a filthy eater because we don't like to use those kind of words anymore, but coming from a childhood where I didn't have like a lot of convenience foods in my diet and stuff like that, my mum was really good at cooking for me. Those are the kind of things that I go, oh my goodness, I need to try that. If there's any of those like kind of fake away type things, those are my favourite ways of eating. But also trying to work out how to make them more nutritious and obviously optimal for health and great for rugby. So a bowl of cereal, add in some protein shake of whatever flavour that is, and then making sure you're adding some fruit alongside that. So a banana's a really good way. Some additional fibre, because that's what we want as well. Protein helps you feel full, fibre helps you feel full, and then you get your carbs from the cereal. If you can go for something that's whole grain instead, so like Weetabix or shredded wheat or even Shreddies or Cheerios, they're all really good because they're slightly slower release energy, so they'll keep you going right the way through the morning. If you want to have a little change up from your cereal every day, we can look at things like porridge.
Not a big fan of porridge.
Are you not a big fan?
Not really.
Again, you can make it a bit more interesting.
Makes you gag a little bit.
Yeah, see.
It's the same with bananas.
Are you not a fan?
No, I'm a fan of bananas. No, I actually really like bananas, but I have to eat it when I'm alone so I don't gross people out because they make really weird sounds.
What is your optimal colour of banana skin? Where are you at?
It's got to be like yellow.
So not so
Yellow to like brown. So like
the far end when it's getting really ripe. Oh no.
I don't know, when I eat like a green one, I feel like I'm eating like a chalk or something.
Sometimes you can catch them and they're not quite there, so that's when they're more starchy. So the further down the line you go, as they start to ripen, that's where the sugars are turning more to kind of like slightly less complex, so it's breaking down a little bit. That's why when you eat them when they're a little bit green, they're a little bit more starchy, so that's why they're chalky like that. I can't eat them, but there is a peak moment. There's a peak moment with a banana, and if it's gone past that point, then it's a no. If it does go that far, banana bread.
Oh, my sister makes the best banana bread. Shout out to her.
Maybe I need some of this the next time I'm over here and get to make some.
It'll be gone if she makes a car.
I have a recipe for protein banana bread as well.
Ooh.
So you can add in. Basically, I like to try and find ways of getting as much protein into your breakfast as possible. So protein banana bread would be, or toasted banana bread with some Greek yogurt on the side and some berries. That's another great way of having a breakfast. So it's a bit like French toast. The key point is how do we get a decent protein source? And when we talk about a protein serving, optimal is somewhere between 20 to 30 grams, because 20 grams is where the science states that it is optimal for muscle building. So I think we spoke about this a little while ago. Muscle protein synthesis, so the building, which is really difficult for somebody who's got a list.
I can't say it.
We'll definitely zoom in on that bit.
Let's say we'll call it MPS. So muscle protein synthesis. Is
So what was it?
Yeah, sorry, the camera didn't.
You say it this time.
Sorry, what was it? I don't actually know what it was.
Muscle protein synthesis.
Muscle protein synthesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Well done, guys.
Perfect. So, MPS for short needs three things: a stimulus, which is you going into the gym and lifting weights, or running, or playing rugby, or something like that. Anything where you make like micro tears in the fibres. That's the stimulus. Then you need the fuel, and which comes from eating sufficient amounts. So the reason why we want to get a better breakfast in as a starting point is because we want you to be getting enough fuel in. But then bring in as well the fact that you need to have the building blocks. So protein is made up of 20 different amino acids, and those amino acids come together to make all of the different cells in your body depending on what the coding is within that particular cell. So you need all of those in your diet in order to then be able to repair the muscle. And there's been many studies done, and the key point is that to keep that stimulus going, you should really be dosing 20 grams every 3 to 4 hours. There has been a little bit more research done which says if you're eating sufficient protein across the course of the day, that should be ticking over quite nicely regardless, and it should just keep going. Because what we don't want to happen is everybody goes, oh well, I must eat 20 grams of protein every 3 to 4 hours, because that might not be practical. Unless you're an athlete that's getting paid to basically sit there and eat, which we're not. You're at college, you're coming down and doing this, you're doing your filming, your YouTubing and all of that, so it might very well be that isn't actually possible, but just to make sure that at every meal you're having somewhere between 20 to 30 grams of protein will mean that you'll keep that muscle building going. And that's why, again, why breakfast is so important, because you think you've had your last meal at 8 o'clock, 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, and then you might not eat again until 8 o'clock the following morning. You want to make sure you're getting that in so that then you start your day right. So other ways that you can, so if you do want to eat porridge, I make something called whey paste. So it's basically whey protein mixed with water, and then it becomes like a sauce. So you can just pour it over stuff.
What about flapjack?
A flapjack?
I do like flapjack. I really like flapjack.
Again, a really great way to, if you're on the go, you could look for either you could get your protein shake and make up a quick shake with some milk, or you can buy those ready-made shakes now, like YouFit, My Protein are doing them. I think even like Jimmy's iced coffee's doing their protein, but everybody's jumping on the protein bandwagon because everybody's talking about protein, and with good reason. So you could have something like, if you're dashing out the door for college, take your protein shake, a flapjack and a piece of fruit, and that would be a perfectly acceptable breakfast to have on the go, because sometimes we do need to eat on the go rather than sitting down and eating a full meal. So you could add, so with things like porridge, you could just add some fruit, some seeds, and some whey paste to it. If you want to have a piece of toast in the morning, same deal. Either have whey protein shake with it, or if you've got time to sit down and be fancy, then have some scrambled eggs, because eggs are a really good source of protein. If you want to take it even further, look for like cottage cheese and mix some cottage cheese through the eggs. That bumps it up even further. Cottage cheese is a really great way of adding it, even if you don't want to mix it through, because sometimes that goes a little bit, can go a bit liquidy. Spread it on your toast. When we start talking about quick lunches, which will be another day, I've got a great pizza bread recipe that uses cottage cheese in the air fryer. So that'll be the next one. But for the moment, I think breakfast is a really, really important way, or a really great way of getting you kick-started. So whatever you're doing, whether it's because you've got a gym session planned, whether it's because you've got a day at college, or you've got a day of filming to do, whatever it is, I think that's going to be your next step. So that is your task for the next 2 weeks. And it'd be great if you could document it somehow.
Do my best.
I'll just keep following.
There we go. Is that all good?
Is that good?
Yeah.
Cool. And actual, like nothing's happening.
So it is. I like to work on the basis of common sense when it comes to eating. Coming from a place where, as a teenager myself, I used to maybe eat an apple for breakfast. That was it. And possibly take lunch to school and then not even worry about eating it, and then have my dinner in the evening. And because I was in that 1990s where skinny was in, and everybody wanted to look like Kate Moss. So now I'm trying to think, who would everybody want to look like now? It'd be Ariana Grande, how she's looking at the moment. She's really, really quite thin. And it messes up how you eat for a long time. And it's taken me till about I was 30 to realise that actually you can eat food, and you can train, and you can be strong, and you can build muscle. And actually it's fun to eat food, because food is about enjoying life and about making connections with people and all of that kind of thing. And my ethos is that there is no good or bad foods, there are just ones that are optimal for health and ones that maybe you want to moderate. So the Eat Well guide up here on the wall is actually probably a really good, there we go, is a really good kind of place to start. And when I talk to most general clients, this is what I talk about. So a plate that has maybe half a plate to 2/3 of a plate, no, half a plate to 1/3 of a plate of fruits and vegetables. And the idea is that you get as much in as you possibly can. So as many different colours, as much variety as you possibly can. So not just having an apple, an orange and a banana every day, trying to add in berries, trying to add in nuts, etc. Then you've got your carbs, because carbs are your fuel source. So anybody that plays sport or trains or basically wants to perform well from a brain function point of view. So if you're going to school, for example, at the moment, and you haven't had anything really kind of like carb-based within your diet first thing in the morning, you're maybe relying on a can of Monster or some sweets or something like that, that energy is going to disappear quite quickly. And then come lunchtime, or not even that, come break time, you're probably not focusing very, very well. By having something like that, so like some cereal or some porridge, those kind of things, they are slower release, so they take longer to digest, longer for the sugars to get into your blood system. And so therefore it helps you maintain your energy levels and your concentration across the morning. You need things like your protein in there. So if you are somebody that is trying to gain muscle because you play a sport and you know that having greater muscle mass, you would want to have the protein, eat alongside your training to make sure that then you can maintain muscle mass. On the flip side of that, if you're somebody that's trying to lose weight because you realise that actually you maybe are sitting outside of what we would call a healthy range, having a high protein diet means that you stay more full, so you're less likely to snack. And then fats as well, because fats are really, really important. They help with taking certain vitamins around the body. They provide insulation, so you need body fat, particularly this time of year. If you're not holding on to body fat, then you'll feel the cold more. If you fall over and injure yourself, fat is, or if you fall over, for example, fat is one of the things that will protect your bones, protect your joints alongside muscle. So it's really, really important to have a balanced diet, and the omission of anything really isn't a great way to do it. I like to think of it as what we would call an inclusive diet. So everything, you eat pretty much whatever you want, but some things you would need to have in greater quantity, and things like this down here, and the oils and the fats. So things like your crisps, your sweets, all of that kind of thing, biscuits, chocolate, are things that should be eaten in moderation. I kind of have this 80-20 rule, so 80% of the time eating the foods that you know are really, really good for you and that fit within this kind of plate, and then 20% of the time adding in the things that make it fun. A little bit of chocolate. That's why, so advent calendars, for example, are a really great way of proving that you can have chocolate every day and it doesn't have a massive impact. If you have a little bit of something that you like every day, you are less likely to then overeat it at a later date. If you tell yourself, I can't have this, or I can't have that, or this is bad for me, or this is a unhealthy food, then what happens is your brain goes, well, I want that more. When can I have that next? And you then constantly start thinking about it, you crave it more, and then when you do have it in front of you, you don't then know how to stop, and you end up eating way more of it than you want to. Then you feel rubbish, then you feel guilty, you beat yourself up, you cut it all out again, and then the next time around the same thing happens, and you end up just doing a constant cycle of what we would call binge restrict. And that's what a lot of people get stuck in, particularly around January, particularly this time of year where they're thinking, I need to lose weight. Christmas has been really indulgent, I've eaten way more chocolate and sweets that I should have done, right, I'm going to be good now. And in fact what happens is that you manage it for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and then you fall off the wagon as we call it, and then you go back to your old habits. A better way to do it, building healthy habits. So taking something and for a couple of weeks trying to do it consistently every day, rather than trying to do it perfectly. So if you miss it one day, don't miss 2, and then you carry on and you keep going. And then when you've nailed that one, you look at the next thing that you want to do. So that might be starting out like we have with something like eating, adding in fruit and vegetables with every meal. That's what I'm going to do for 2 weeks. I'm going to try that out, I'm going to build it up, see how I feel. It's going to get me feeling really good. And then 2 weeks time, we then go and we do, right, let's start looking at breakfast. What does breakfast look like? And how can I make that more nutritious, add that in, and so on and so forth. And that's a far better way of getting towards your goals or feeling healthier without ending up feeling like you're being boring or you're missing out or all that kind of thing. There we go. How was that?
That was very nice, that was very good.
Yeah?
Definitely learned a lot.
Cool.
I'm definitely going to use some of that for the future as well.
Yeah?
Nice.
Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Do what the sign says and come back for more nutritionist tips.